gonna get hurt. How do you know someone's running a Chameleon Striker build? Their damage output looks like a slot machine. Sometimes it hits big, and sometimes you wonder why they even bother. Haha, d.a.g joke of the day. What is going on, d.a.gs? Today I got a Striker Chameleon build. I know you're used to seeing my weird fun builds that I've been putting together lately for the new season, Burden of Truth, and I'm really enjoying playing with the Rogue Momentum. If you are new to the channel, welcome to d.a.g Gaming. I'm your host, NOX'S, where my favorite thing to do is respawn. The goal of this build is to stack some more, and thanks to the RPM boost from Striker and Rogue Momentum, the Chameleon is better than ever. Any type of RPM boost is a huge benefit to the Chameleon because it is a stacking type of weapon. While the Chameleon isn't the hardest hitting assault rifle without the buffs being active, once you do activate the head and chest buffs, this thing does rip. Now that I have stacked the reasons why I like this build, let's get right into it. For the specialization, I'm using Sharpshooter to give me access to the Technician drone and to get that 15% stability and quicker target requisitioning. And you're going to have access to those amazing flashbang grenades as well. For the Stackmaster primary, we have the Chameleon Exotic Assault Rifle. I have it rolled with the damage to target out of cover. It comes with the Talent Adaptive Instincts, which unlocks massive buffs when you reach the targeted stacks. And because we're going to be playing close and personal, it's really easy to get those headshot stacks, giving us that massive 20% critical hit chance and 50% critical hit damage. These are the mods that come with it that you cannot change out. Notably, the 50% critical hit chance really helps out with this build. For the secondary, I have the name Rock and Roll Shotgun. More so is this here for show because it has a really awesome skin. And the only time that I really use it is in the beginning of an encounter. And the reason being is because I don't want to swap up from the Chameleon and lose my stacks for that. I have it rolled with damage to target out of cover, and it comes with the Talent Perfectly Extra. And these are the mods that I have for it. For the sidearm, you can put whatever you want. I never use it. For the first armor piece, I have the Striker's Backpack, and I am running a total of 4 pieces to give me access to Striker's Gamble, which gives you a stacking total weapon damage boost. I have it rolled with critical hit damage with a critical hit damage armor mod, and because I'm using the backpack, I unlock the Talent Risk Management, which increases your total weapon damage gain from 0.65 to 0.9. For the mask, I have my second piece of Strikers rolled with critical hit damage, and I have a 12% critical hit damage armor mod. For the holster, I have my third piece of Strikers, as well rolled with critical hit damage. For the knee pads, I have my fourth and final piece of Strikers, as well rolled with critical hit damage. For the gloves, I have one piece of Palisades to give me the 10% armor on kill, and I have it rolled with critical hit damage and weapon handling. For the chest piece, you can run whatever brand set you want to. It's going to come down to how you like to play and what you value. Personally, I'm running the Fanners to give me that 10% assault rifle damage, and the reason is because I want my non-critical hits to hit a little bit harder. Because the way this build works, we will not always have high critical hit chance, so I value the base damage over having more critical hit chance or critical hit damage. I have it rolled with double crit with a 12% critical hit damage armor mod, and to fit the stacking theme, I'm running Obliterate to give me even more stacking total weapon damage. And because we're going to have constant pulses, you could also run Spotter if you want that 15% amplified damage, or you could run the Perfect Spotter to get the 20% amplified damage to pulse targets. An alternative, if you want to have more defense, you can run Unbreakable because I am running all red core, so I have no armor. You can always mix and match and try out different things to see what fits your playstyle. Before we get into the skills, let's take a look at Rogue Momentum. If you look at the last part of the Unstoppable tier, you're going to get those massive buffs, plus your skills will be overcharged, meaning that it don't matter how many skill tiers you have, you will instantly benefit from the overcharged buffs of those skills that you have equipped. And a side note is when you kill a blacklisted marked enemy, you do get a 15-second buff, which gives you 10% weapon handling and 10% critical hit chance. Using what you just learned, the first skill that we are using is the Crusader Shield, and because the goal is to stay overcharged, we're going to ignore skill tiers and defense to buff the shield and solely rely on it being overcharged and getting those massive buffs. And the shield also becomes invulnerable as long as you can keep it overcharged. And these are the mods that I'm running for it. For the second skill, I have the Technician Drone. This thing is going to fly around you and constantly pulse the enemies, and the duration on that pulse is very short, so we'll constantly reapply. Comboed with Microwave Coils, we're going to constantly get momentum and set the enemies on fire. This skill is very powerful because it single-handedly keeps you in the Unstoppable tier, which gives you the maximum buffs to your weapons and skills, gives you the maximum amount of rate of fire and movement speed, and overcharges your skills. Additionally, when the drone is overcharged and it pulses, it will apply weak Witness exploit, where you and your allies' damage is amplified by 15% to pulse targets. This is all sources of damage, including even status effects. Definitely don't sleep on this skill because it adds so much utility and damage. And those are the mods that I'm running for it. For the active modifier, I have Tactical Supremacy. I personally never use the active modifiers. And the reason why I don't use Overdrive because you can set it off by just looking at loot, which really sucks when you use it out of combat because you will get none of the benefits and you'll get stuck with the penalty of reducing your momentum gain by 70% for 150 seconds. This is the reason why I don't use it. It is definitely a good active modifier, especially for legendary, because for the majority of the time it's super easy to maintain the momentum once you get it. For the first 10 seconds, you can clear out a big chunk of the legendary enemies, helping you to maintain whatever hole you're hiding in for that encounter. For the first passive modifier, I have Microwave Coils, which combos beautifully with the Technician Drone. While the drone constantly pulses, you're going to constantly apply burn, and you're going to get a nice juicy chunk of momentum. For the second passive modifier, I have Reaper Scan, and the reason why I'm using it is because this loadout relies on those blacklisted marks to get that 10% critical hit chance, and that 10% weapon handling is really nice for the Chameleon because it does struggle with accuracy. Lastly, I have Critical Momentum. This thing helps me build up my momentum and keep it topped off by just shooting my gun. For the stats, I'm sitting at 31% critical hit chance. It'll go up to 41% for 15 seconds when you kill a blacklisted marked enemy, or it'll go up to 51% when you unlock the Chameleon's head buff, and when both buffs are combined, you'll be at the cap. I'm sitting at 153% critical hit damage, which will go to 203% when you unlock the Chameleon's chest buff. I'm also getting a whopping 81,000 armor on kill to help you stay alive. You definitely want to have a little bit of armor on kill, even though we are relying on our shield to be invulnerable and keep us alive. And the reason is because if you get hit by an explosion or status effect, more than likely the shield won't stop it and you will end up taking damage. This build takes the definition of high risk, high reward to a new level. You have to play very aggressive while keeping your eye on the hexagons for your Chameleon stacks. And also the Chameleon only has 20 optimal range, so you are forced to play close quarter with this loadout. Thankfully, the shield being invulnerable, you'll be nice and safe behind it. As long as you have good positioning and can control the field, keeping all the enemies in front of you, you shouldn't really take any damage ever. And I also noticed when the shield's invulnerable, the elites don't penetrate it, so you won't take reduced damage like normal. And for some odd reasons, they don't even shoot at your head or your legs. I'm not sure what the reason is for that. It might be a coding error or something. I have constantly stayed in front of the elites and never taken any damage from them. So definitely let us know if you are experiencing the same stuff that I am. It's super awesome that for me, the shield acts like a super shield, blocking even elites from shooting me in the head. You can use other skills if you don't like to use a pulse, but honestly, pulses this season give you way too many benefits to pass up on that you might be even nerfing yourself by using a different skill, especially for weapon damage builds, because the 15% amplified damage you get from pulses is insane. Additionally, partnered up with Microwave Coils, you do get some nice crowd control going off constantly with those burns. And while the enemies are burning, they won't really be shooting at you. They'll just be running around flailing their arms in the air, making it even easier for you to pick them off, and sometimes even save you if you don't see them and they run up behind you. Mentioning that, be careful when you use pulses with Microwave Coils, especially in the open world, because you will attract random mobs. And there has been plenty of times when I am doing a control point and I get hit by random black dust drones, or get instantly downed by a group of random mobs as well. Also, don't forget to use your flashbangs because they do have a very large area of effect. If you're going against hunters or rogues, they can flush them out from behind cover, and majority of the time they won't be able to get out of it before it goes off, and they'll be blinded and make it easy to take them out. Well, I can only stack my 2 cents so high, so let's head over to the shooting range because I know you all love to see those big floaty damage numbers. A quick tip that I've been incorporating in my videos is that if you go to the shooting range, you can build up your momentum, then you can fast travel to a mission or a open world activity, and the momentum that you build up at the shooting range will transfer with you. So you can literally start a mission with full momentum, saving yourself from having to use overcharge or worrying about building up momentum. As you can see, I have no momentum, and as soon as I get into a mission or get into open world, I pull out my drone. And as soon as it pulses and start lighting enemies on fire, I'm going to start building momentum. And because the pulse is so short, you'll end up applying burn to the same enemy multiple times. So even a group of like 2 or 3 enemies can give you full momentum. When you aim down sight with the Chameleon, you can see those 3 hexagons, and each of them correspond to the specific area that you have to shoot to unlock that buff. with the top being the head, the middle being the body, and the bottom one being legs. And because I don't have any stacks right now and I'm about to start an encounter, I'll lead it off with my rock and roll. This thing is really good for building up your striker stacks because you do have 30 rounds in the mag. You can see how fast it goes up. Once I get the amount of stacks that I want, I'll start using the Chameleon. I'll start by shooting them in the body. Once I unlock the body, start shooting them in the head. Can't really shoot them in the legs to unlock the reload speed. You can see the damage that I'm hitting for right now is pretty massive. We're hitting for almost 1.8 million when they are pulsed, which is pretty nasty when you have everything stacked up. That little amplified damage buff definitely adds a massive chunk. That's why I say don't sleep on pulses this season. That's like a 200,000 damage buff right there just from being pulsed. Alrighty, Dags, I hope you guys liked my Chameleon Striker build. Let me know what you guys think about the new season Burden of Truth and Rogue Momentum. And let me know how you like to run your Striker build and what kind of guns you like to use instead of the Chameleon. Moving on, if you're subscribed to my channel, thank you for subscribing. And if you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe. That way you can stay up to date to all my upcoming videos. And I want to say thank you to the community for supporting my new small channel. You guys are awesome. That's all for now, and I'll catch you at the next one.